How did you come to the idea to start this business? What is the company's foundation story?
The company was started in 1986 with a group of people. Actually, there were 6 of us that were working together for some years, also in the lead-acid storage battery industry. So when it was decided that I was going to establish this company, they decided to join with us, and that's how it began.
What were the most complicated stages of company's development? Maybe there are some remarkable stories associated with those times.
The most difficult times was the cash flow in the beginning, and explaining to customers around the world about the new company, why it was started, and what our intentions were.
But you succeeded. We can see it.
Yeah, that we did.
What was the battery industry like 30 years ago when you started compared to nowadays? What are your predictions for the next 30 years?
Well, the battery industry that we dealt with 30 years ago were composed of a lot of smaller and medium-sized battery manufacturers, which these days have just about all disappeared in favor of the larger companies. I think over the next 30 years, the lead-acid battery business will continue thriving, and that the companies who are big now will probably just get bigger.
What are your ideas about this lithium threat to lead market?
I think that lithium will be a player in the market depending upon how the automobile companies continue manufacturing either hybrid or electric cars. It seems to be a product that will be here to stay, or a technology that will be here to stay, but it's never going to totally replace the lead-acid storage battery. If you're asking my opinion about how much longer the lead-acid battery will be around, personally, I think 100 more years or more.
How did you actually reach the customers without social media 30 years ago? And do you think that modern technologies are helpful now?
Over the years, we have visited customers much more frequently because there wasn't social media. So you actually had to travel that much more for longer periods of time. It may not be a shock to most, especially most my age, but when we would travel, the trips would be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or maybe even 5 weeks long. It was more economical to do it like that. And you had so many more customers to visit that you had to stay a little bit longer in city after city and country after country. With the advent of social media now, it makes it a little bit easier because you have instant gratification in contacting customers and them contacting you. But it still does not significantly replace personal visits. Personal visits are still the most crucial part of any business.
What are your main principles in business that help you grow this successful empire?
The main principles is to be honest and to be fair. We have, we developed friends outside the United States, and remember, this business is principally international. So the amount of business that the headquarters has in the United States is very, very limited. We deal in over 100 countries around the world on a regular basis. So we have to make sure that our friends outside the United States are properly taken care of.
I always say that SORFIN connects people, so SORFIN also makes friends all over the world.
Absolutely.
How did you start Tokyo office? How all this Asian American association begin?
Well, Mr. Yoshimura and I worked together from another company over 40 years ago. We started a small business then. We became very, very close friends.
Mm-hmm.
He learned English very quickly. I did not learn Japanese, but we structured plans on how to deal with the Japanese battery manufacturers and the Asian battery manufacturers. And together with other people we had in New York who were born and raised in different parts of Asia, they traveled with Mr. Yoshimura and his staff to virtually all of the Asian countries. And the principle of that business was the same principle of New York's office, where you had to be fair and honest and give the client what they expect for a fair price, fair payment terms, and always be honest with them.
And ours, a very important thing is the mentality, because to contact local people, you have not only to know the language, but also to have the same mentality and emotional state.
I agree 100% with you, Anton, and so many others in the many offices we now have around the world. We're able to speak almost 20 different languages. Definitely a value to our client base. And it's with people that are nationals from each of the countries, whether it be the Ukraine, Soviet Union, Russia, South America, Europe, or Asia.